Okay, so if you're just starting out in content creation, you probably really don't know how to use that camera that you just bought. And I have been there, okay? You buy this expensive camera, you buy the gear, you buy the lights, you buy everything that all the tech gurus tell you to go get. And then you get it home and you're looking at all these boxes, all these knobs, gears, everything, and you're like, girl, how do I use it? And so in this video, I'm not actually gonna teach you how to use it. I'm gonna teach you some mistakes that people are making when it comes to content creation. I'm gonna teach you how to fix them so that you can make your content a lot better. So whether you're into photography, videography, or you're just a regular schmegular content creator like I am, then in this episode, this will help you get the content that you've been dreaming of. So let's jump right in. What we're gonna do today is I'm gonna break down the 5 mistakes that I made, other content creators are making, and the mistakes that I'm still seeing people make. We're gonna break those down today, and you will not make those mistakes ever again. So let's get started. The first mistake that I made for a very long time, and I'm still seeing people make this mistake, is, girl, you're still shooting in auto. Why are you still shooting in auto? Like, the whole concept of content creation and becoming a content creator is to get better. If you're still shooting in auto, trust me when I say you're not getting better. You're just not. Granted, yes, it's convenient. Yes, it's easy. It's a great place to start, but it ends up limiting your creative control, especially in post-production. When you get it back on your computer and you like, this didn't really hit like I thought it was gonna hit. It's because you're shooting in auto. It kind of reminds me of training wheels. You know, you put them on when you're 3. It makes riding a bike feel easy and safe. But at some point, don't be 13 with them training wheels still on. So same thing goes for content creation. At some point, you have to stop shooting in auto, learn how to shoot in manual, and get better. So I know you're about to ask me, well, how do I get better? How do I learn how to shoot in manual? Don't worry, I got you covered. I have an entire video that breaks down the bare basics, like just the basics you need to know to shoot in manual, and I will put a link in the description box. All right, so moving on to my next mistake. I made this mistake. I actually made it for a very, very, very long time. I'm kind of ashamed to say, but I know you're probably making this mistake too, so I ain't that ashamed. Okay, so this next mistake, I made it for a very, very, very long time, and if I can save you like 3 years of making this mistake, I'm gonna save it right here with this little piece of information. So mistake number 2 is not paying attention to your white balance. Let me tell you something. At one point, I thought it was my light bulbs. I was like, let me just change my light bulbs and maybe that'll help. I was about to change every light bulb in my house. I was about to paint the whole house because I couldn't quite get it right in camera. If you've ever looked through your camera and noticed that the color is off, it's because you need to pay attention to your white balance. Maybe it looks like too warm, or it looks too cool, or it's like too blue or too orange. Y'all, I was about to paint the whole house because I had no idea. So there's 3 ways you can adjust your white balance. The first way is just let your camera do it. It's auto. This is where the camera sets the white balance for you. I will put on screen what that looks like in my Canon camera. I don't know what it looks like in yours, but in my Canon camera, I just go to these places. There's also presets that are already built into your camera. So the second way is just to choose one of these presets. There's like daylight, shade, cloudy, Tuscan. Really just flip through them and see which one matches like the room or the vibe that you're going for. And then the third way is to set it yourself by adjusting the temperature. So the temperature is the letter K, and this stands for Kelvin, and that basically is the temperature of the light. It tells us how cool the light is or how warm the light is. And you're able to adjust the temperature just by sliding the Kelvin scale up and down. Y'all, it took me a long time to figure that out. Took a long time to figure that out. I know a big issue I had when I first started off was my home just felt orange. Like everything that I shot in here just felt super orange. And I couldn't figure out why. Like I said, I was about to change the light bulbs. I was about to paint the walls. I was like, maybe it's these walls. Whole time, all I had to do was change the temperature in my cameras. I guarantee you making that mistake too. So if you are, put it in the comments. I wanna know which one of these mistakes y'all are making. So this next mistake that I see so many people make, and I'm actually making it right now, is lighting. okay? The word photo means light. So light is one of those things that you absolutely have to get good quality content. Natural light is great. I actually love shooting in natural light. Right now, if you're looking at this video, you're probably like, what's going on with your light? It's because I'm shooting with natural light and artificial light. Girl, I'm doing both of them, and I do not recommend that. Natural light is great. I actually love doing photos, and I also love doing short form videos in natural light because it just looks good. You know, just find a window, face the window, and then turn on the camera, and I guarantee you, you're gonna look good. But it does have its limitations. The sun moves, the clouds cover it, there's overcast, it changes. And when you're sitting down to record long form video like I am now, trust me when I say the light is going to change. And so that is where I have incorporated artificial light. So for a very long time, I thought that I could just thrive and live off of natural sunlight, but I highly encourage all content creators to have some kind of light in their creator kit. And I'm about to give you a few options here. The first one is the LED soft light panel. This thing is so inexpensive and it pretty much hooks on directly to your camera. It is $47. You can attach it to your tripod, or you can attach it to like a suction mount, or you could just hook it right onto your camera. But basically it just flushes soft light right onto your face. The second light that I would add to my kit, if you were interested in finding lights for your kit, are the LED video lightings. These come in a package of 2. They're adjustable, so you're able to adjust the temperature and the intensity. And then my last recommendation, this is for like people who are ready to like up their lighting, is the Amaran. I don't know if it's Amaran or Amaran. I don't know. The Amaran 200D Moonlight with a light dome or a softbox. My gosh. Chef's kiss. You're gonna get some really good quality lighting that is just gonna be so soft on your face. You're gonna love it. These do run you a little bit more, like $500, $600. So yeah, if you're not ready, then don't do that. But if you are, then go ahead. I guarantee you these lights, you're gonna love them. Okay, so this next mistake I see all the time is people using the wrong lens. Okay, so you know when you buy a camera for the first time, it usually comes with a lens. Unless you buy the camera body by itself. If you buy the kit, it probably comes with a lens, a strap, a carrying case. Well, this lens that the camera comes with is called the kit lens, and it is the cheapest, trashiest lens that the camera company could throw in with the camera body just so you could use it. My camera came with a kit lens, and when I tell you, child, I don't even know where that kit lens is. I think it's sitting on my bookshelf collecting dust because I never use it. The magic happens in the lens, okay? Go ahead and get rid of that kit lens. If you have a camera, I highly encourage you to upgrade your lens before you upgrade anything else, because the magic truly happens in the lens. My first recommendation, okay, so y'all know I'm a Canon girl, so I can really only speak from Canon, but I know I know Nikon has its version, I know Sony has its version, but Canon has the Nifty 50. And basically this is an inexpensive 50mm lens, and it is just so much better than the kit lens, and it doesn't cost an arm and a leg, and I think it's a great place to start. It's not a wide angle lens, so if you want something wider, then you're gonna have to go to like the 35mm or the 25mm, but the Nifty 50, for the price point, this 50mm lens is a great starter lens for people who are just trying to make their content a little bit better. All right, so this next point is a little bit more advanced, but I think if you can master it, you are going to love yourself because of it. You're gonna love your content because of it. I feel like the next mistake that a lot of content creators make, including myself, like I am not above making these mistakes. I made them for a very long time, which is why I'm making this video. Another mistake I see is not matching your frame rate to your shutter speed. So switching the camera to video and pressing record is just a little piece of the puzzle, okay? Knowing your frame rate, knowing your shutter speed, and how to get quality content is another part of the puzzle. So let's talk about video format and frame rate. These can be viewed in your camera. They can also be set in your camera, okay? I usually set all of my videos to 4K. 60 frames per second, just because that is the best quality that my camera can create. 4K, 60 frames per second. Hopefully your camera has 4K, but if it doesn't, then you may have 1080p or FHD. FHD, I think, is like full high definition or something. So you do want to pay attention to those things and those settings. That's something that you make in the camera body. So you have to, like, everybody's camera is different. I'll show you on screen how I get to mine in my Canon camera body. That frame rate is the frames per second, so FPS. Whenever you have 60 frames per second, 24 frames per second, 30 frames per second, that number is important. So your frames per second and your shutter speed, they work together. So don't ignore it. I feel like at the beginning of my content creator journey, I just ignored that stuff because I just didn't know. So pay attention to what your frames per second, what your format is, because that's gonna determine how you need to set your shutter speed. They work together. And we talk about shutter speed and all those things in the Camera Basics video. Check that out if you need more help. But you want to set your shutter speed to double your frame rate. So if my frame rate is 60 frames per second, then my shutter speed needs to double that. So I need to be shooting in 1/120th of a second. Say for instance, I'm shooting in 30 frames per second. Then my shutter speed needs to be double that. It needs to be 1/60th of a second. Your shutter speed needs to be double your frame rate. So those were the top mistakes that I made, mistakes that I get asked about. Like I said, when I first started using the camera, I didn't know like what to watch out for. I didn't know what things that I needed to pay attention to. So if any of this hit home for you, it's okay. If you didn't know about shutter speed, frames per second, it's okay. If you didn't know about temperature and white balance, it's okay. We have all been there. You are in good company, but you're not making that mistake no more, okay? Because you watched this video and you hit the subscribe button. So you're gonna be a better content creator. What's actually important is that you're learning and improving every time you turn on your camera. So don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more camera tips, and turn on your notifications so that you don't miss the next episode of the camera series.